It is Thursday, January the 12th, just another night of opportunity in the NBA. We did hit 2 of our 3 bets on Tuesday, going for the clean sweep tonight. We'll be involved in 3 games once again. Would like to get to them now quickly, starting in New York, where the Knicks host the Chicago Bulls. New York a 3-point favorite at BetSafe, 203.5 the total here. Now the Knicks are collapsing. They've lost 9 of their past 10 games. There's been issues off the court. You probably heard earlier this week, Derrick Rose unexpectedly went absent, missed the team's game against the New Orleans Pelicans. Rose was back in action last night, but the Knicks blew a 13-point fourth quarter lead and lost to the lowly Philadelphia 76ers. So here they are, second night of a back-to-back, returning home. But you know what? I think they have an excellent chance of getting things turned around here and finally picking up a win. That's because they're hosting a very mediocre Chicago Bulls team. The Bulls have lost 2 straight to fall below 500 for the year. Most importantly, the Bulls will be without both Nikola Mirotic and Jimmy Butler tonight. Now, Mirotic is an important part of what they do, an important cog off the bench, but Butler is their best player. He really gets it done for the Bulls on both ends. He missed the team's last game as well, a loss to the Washington Wizards. Doug McDermott started in his place, and the thought of Doug McDermott chasing Carmelo Anthony around the floor tonight should be enough to send chills down the spine of any Bulls fan. Now look, even when Butler and Mirotic are both healthy, the Bulls' very mediocre team on both ends of the floor, 23rd in points scored, 21st in opponents' field goal percentage. Obviously, they'd be worse in both of those areas without a guy like Jimmy Butler. And look, for as bad as the Knicks have been lately, they have been a good home team this season, 11-8 at home. I think they have an excellent chance to put the recent struggles behind them. I mean, they're still playing hard. You could tell they really took last night's loss hard. All the players seemed fairly devastated when T.J. McConnell hit that game winner right as the buzzer sounded. So look, the Knicks still playing hard for head coach Jeff Hornacek, facing a very wounded and short-handed Chicago Bulls team tonight. I think they pick up the win and cover the 3-point number. Moving on now to San Antonio, where the Spurs host the Los Angeles Lakers. The Spurs a 14.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 211 the total here. Look, 14.5 is a big number, but the Spurs much better than the LA Lakers. And you know what? The Spurs should be very motivated tonight after losing their last game. They lost 109-107 to the Milwaukee Bucks on Tuesday. That snapped a 9-game home winning streak for the San Antonio Spurs. And it was odd them surrendering 109 points to Milwaukee. Keep in mind, this is an excellent defensive team. We're talking about San Antonio, second in the NBA in points allowed, surrendering just 97.8 points per game. Also second in the league in point differential at plus 8.2. They've beaten the Lakers 8 straight times, including earlier this season, 116-107 in the Staples Center. You look at this LA team, they are the single worst defensive team in the NBA, dead last in terms of opponents' field goal percentage. They're surrendering 47.6% from the floor. The Spurs are absolutely going to cut them up tonight. Their last game, the Lakers lost 108-87 to the Portland Trail Blazers. They managed just 30 second-half points. What we have here is your typical bad team versus good team matchup. The Lakers terrible on the road, just 5-16 away from home. And I tell you what, if you're worried about the 14.5-point number here, you should be aware that each of the Spurs' last 5 home wins, I was about to say last 5 wins, but each of the Spurs' last 5 home wins has come by 16 points or more. They win games by this margin all the time. And look, as we said, motivated tonight after losing their last game to the Milwaukee Bucks, facing the very worst defensive team in the NBA. I think the Spurs win here and win big. I like them to cover the 14.5-point number. Final game I'll be involved in on this Thursday, January the 12th. What about the Golden State Warriors hosting the Detroit Pistons? Golden State a 12.5-point favorite at BetSafe, 218.5 the total here. These teams met in Detroit last month. The Warriors won, but it was very competitive, 119-113 the final score there. And look, Golden State, I don't know if you've noticed, they have not been a particularly good team to back here lately. Yes, they keep on winning, but they have not been paying off their backers. As a matter of fact, the Spurs now 6 straight losses against the number and just 1-8 in their last 9 games. I'm talking about against the spread. Troubling because they're 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games. So it's not like they've been playing poorly. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. They haven't covered in any of those games. If that's not a sign of a team that is overvalued, I don't know what is. Here they are again giving a double-digit number to a pretty good Pistons team that has been playing some decent basketball lately. Detroit had won 3 of 4 games before blowing a second-half lead and losing 100-94 in Sacramento on Tuesday night. They will have a major advantage in the paint in this game. Andre Drummond, an absolute monster. And if Golden State does have a weakness, it is the center position. I mean, Anderson Varejao, Zaza Pachulia, whoever they throw out there, they're not going to be able to compete with Andre Drummond, who, as I said, is an absolute force down low. So, look, I know the Pistons struggle to score at times. I do not expect them to win this game. But tough for me to trust the Golden State Warriors after watching them just not cover repeatedly here lately and giving a big 12.5-point number to the Detroit Pistons. I think Detroit might make this one a bit more competitive than that. I like them to stay closer than 12.5 and cover here. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on this Thursday, January the 12th. I like the New York Knicks as a 3-point home favorite over the Chicago Bulls. I like the San Antonio Spurs minus 14.5 against the LA Lakers. And I like the Detroit Pistons as a 12.5-point road underdog in Golden State. Folks, I wish you best of luck regardless of what you decide to do tonight, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. Enjoy the games.